There were some terrible contracts given out in the NFL this week, and we're going to give you the 3 worst contracts signed in free agency in the 2026 offseason. Now, James, 3 names that we feel that these contracts were disgusting and undeserving, despite how crazy the market is nowadays and how the salary cap jumped up. These 3 players were drastically overpaid.
My worst signing, man, is going to be Elijah Vera-Tucker, man, going to the Patriots. Because I always say, Spence, man, the best ability is what? Availability. And for a guy who's missed 42 games out of 85, yeah, he might have played 5 years with the Jets. Does this signing for the need work for the Patriots? It does. But if he ain't on the field, what the hell is he going to be doing? And I know there's upside, Spence, but guess what, man? In a gambling world, hey, man, sometimes you're going to lose and sometimes you're going to win. I just don't see this working out, as the goal is to protect Drake May after last year's Super Bowl. And I just don't see that if Tucker is not on that field.
Yeah, you said it, James. Availability is the best ability that you can have.
Yeah.
Now, it may be a little bit easier to stomach for Patriots fans whenever you realize that, yeah, it's 3 years, $42 million, but only 21 of that is fully guaranteed. But a 3-year contract, that means that you are tied to him for at least 2 seasons. So you better get some productive play. And maybe he does get better when he's out of that hellhole up there in East Rutherford. No one even cares about the New York Jets.
Right.
The second worst contract of free agency was one of the biggest names heading into free agency, Alec Pierce, re-signing with the Indianapolis Colts for 4 years, $116 million, $84 million of which is guaranteed. Now, I don't think Alec Pierce is a bad player. He had less than 50 catches and more than 1,000 yards, averaged over 20 yards a catch each of the last 2 seasons. He is a big play guy. However, when you are going to be making $28.5 million on average, that puts you as the 11th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, which, okay, he's not top 10. That probably feels like it's about right. But then you start looking at the names of guys that he is going to be making more than. Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Jamison Williams, Devontae Smith, Nico Collins, Cortland Sutton, and Devontae Adams. Now, guys like George Pickens are also making less than Alec Pierce. I'm sure he was ecstatic when Alec Pierce signed this contract because he's going to be like, hey, give me more than that. But for the Colts to give this much money to Alec Pierce, so much so that it forced them to trade Michael Pittman, who was arguably their true wide receiver 1 each of the last 2 seasons, I just truly think that this Alec Pierce contract is insane. And unless he has a 60-catch, 1,200-yard season next year, it will not be worth this money.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. A one-hit wonder in my eye at the moment. Yeah, 47 catches, 1,000 yards is great. But you mentioned, I thought he was wide receiver 2, and he's getting paid as wide receiver 1. Yeah, that's falling off the wagon on that for the Colts. Spence, man, let's wrap this thing up, man. I thought another worst signing for me is the former Jaguar going to the New Orleans Saints, Travis Etienne, man, on that 4-year, $52 million contract. Now, my reason why I hate this is because I get it. You want to go get your bag. But when you decide to go from the Jaguars, who you had opportunities to maybe be a contender, to go to the Saints, now I just don't like that. I don't like that for them. I don't think I think Travis Etienne is a better player, a good player. Yeah. What does that do with Alvin Kamara? We'll find out later. But when his deal is almost as close as the Super Bowl MVP, that's where I think the Saints paid a little bit way too much. Because, I mean, hey, running backs are, how we call it, they're interchangeable, it seems like. Didn't think you need to pay a high premium for a guy who been inconsistent at his time with the Jaguars.
No, absolutely. He was someone that struggles running between the tackles, moving to a scheme with the Saints, and I like Kellen Moore a lot, but I think that's probably a worse offensive line unit than he had in Jacksonville. And a 4-year deal That's a long time for a running back, and that's a big number, like you said. So I'm with you there. I think Travis Etienne is a good, not great player.
Honorable mention for me is Bradley Chubb going to the Bills, just because, as we mentioned, I think the Bills signed this guy a little bit more expensively because of the name that he brought and the baggage that he had previously with the Broncos and the Dolphins. But just a guy who's making that much money and his pass rate was 82nd in the NFL. That's pretty low for a guy you're paying pretty high. At least guys like Joey Bosa, who you barely signed last year, he was 23rd in pass rate success. So Bradley Chubb better step up. If not, again, it's another 2-year thing on maybe not getting the production you want.
My honorable mention is actually a player I think is a very, very, very good player, arguably best at his position. But Tyler Linderbaum, I'm sorry. I think he's a good player, and he very well might be the best center in all of football. But for him to make $27 million a season when the next closest center, Creed Humphrey of the Chiefs, is making $18 million. I get it. Tyler Linderbaum is an elite talent. He is arguably the best center in the league, but he should not be making 33% more than the next closest center, Creed Humphrey. It's a crazy contract, and it's a good thing that the Raiders are going to have Fernando Mendoza on a rookie contract. And I guess that's why it benefits having a rookie contract for a quarterback, because you can give out crazy contracts like this to all the guys that you need to support him.
And another honorable mention for me, not because of the dollar wise, a guy who I thought wanted to be his own RB1, Tyler Algier going to the Cardinals, going back, being RB2 behind Bijan Robinson, which we understand, but going to a situation where you're in the mix with James Conner, Trey Benson, and I forget the other running back's name, but
Amari DeMarcado.
Yeah, so then there's 4 guys in that running back room. So I just find it odd that he didn't go out and maybe could have got like a Rico Dowdle. You know he's going to be the RB1. I wish Tyler Algier would have done that for himself.
I thought he would have been a great fit to replace Kenneth Walker up in Seattle.
Could have been.
But y'all let us know in the comments, what was the worst contract that was given out in NFL free agency this offseason? Let us know down below, and we'll see you next time on Big Game Energy.
Anyone who signs with the Jets is probably a horrible ass for signing.
Shout out Gino.
Shout out Mika Fitzpatrick.